Hello YouTube. For this video I'd like to talk about and demonstrate something I've been trying out in relation to recording sounds from the world around us, small sounds and so on, to be then incorporated into music. I've started doing some, as you may have seen or not, some videos on recording Foley. That's just recording from a microphone built into a tape recorder or a digital device. But there's another technique which is less widely used, but interesting nonetheless, that came into my mind as I was doing this, which is, it's not even a technique so much as a composition or a technique used specifically for a piece that has then possibly died away, as something people do, apart from using this technique for this specific composition, and that is John Cage's Cartridge music. Back in, I think, about 1960, probably 1960 exactly. Certainly there's a performance in 1960 of this piece, which you can find on the YouTubes, of John Cage and David Tudor, in which they're actually performing the Cartridge music together, and it's a terrific piece of music. Music, okay, I've got to be careful because I don't know who's listening to this, but it's a terrific piece of sound. So to explain a bit more about what Cartridge music is and why I'm here with my record deck in front of me, basically I would have to say it's a technique that developed as part of a composition, and that was to put found objects from the real world, small things, maybe larger things, I don't know, but somehow get them to insert into the cartridge, which would be the bit that holds the stylus on the record player. And then once those things are in the stylus of the record player, that they're replacing the stylus essentially in the Cage piece, then you can amplify them through the record player. So a classic thing that he used would be a feather, and then if you then manipulate that feather, kind of ruffle it and carry out gestures on the feather, those tiny sounds that are made would be picked up in the same way that the needle of a record player picks up the vinyl, and amplified out through the player. I tried to get this technique working with my standard record deck, which is a Bush turntable, a Bush Acoustics MTT1 mini turntable. It's not even part of a hi-fi system, but I can plug it into a mixer. Now what I did was, initially I kind of thought, okay, I need to take off the stylus and the cartridge, and maybe see if I can put objects in here through there's a little hole down there, and so I was putting like cotton buds and bits of wire in here, and I was getting no sound at all, apart from a little bit when I put a bit of wire, I think, somewhere, and I got a little bit of a scratchy sound, but it wasn't anything like what I was trying to achieve. So let's put the cartridge back in. Maybe I shouldn't have demonstrated this, because now I've got a fiddle while doing a video, and who wants a fiddle while doing a video? So I'll just, yeah, okay, that's back on there. So I kind of looked at why this wasn't working, and I think it turns out that the cartridges, as they're called for the cartridge music, were different back in John Cage's day. They were bigger, bulkier things. You could kind of unscrew them and then put your feather or your bit of wire or whatever in the cartridge, and away you went, as it were. And also you have to have the right kind of pickup as part of the equation. So in John Cage's day, those cartridges would be iron moving, yeah, I forgot the term, iron moving cartridges, which means that the bit that picks up the movement, and I've used cotton bud to demonstrate, as the record player is moving across the this is the stylus here, in a sense. The stylus is being moved about. It's being moved up and down, and it's kind of moving up and down. This is how I understand it anyway. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm not an expert. It's moving up and down on something of a pivot like that. So the stylus and this end here, in a moving iron cartridge pickup sort of version of events, this is what's being picked up. The moving iron version is being picked up by magnets, which are either side of it or one magnet by it, and then that electromagnetic interference or whatever it is being amplified to pick up the movement of the record player. But that's a moving iron arrangement, yes. But in these newer and general modern ones, they're moving magnet pickups. So what that means is, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong because I'm no expert, but the stylus is here picking up your record, and instead of a bit of iron here being picked up by magnets, there's a little bit of magnetic stuff here, which is causing interference in the magnetic field and being picked up by bits of iron, possibly more like a guitar coil pickup. Anyway, no, forget the science. But anyway, the basics of that is, I don't forget the science, it's kind of, why would you want to forget it? But what I mean is, I'm not brilliant on this stuff, but I've got a rough idea. So the outcome is that I can put anything I like in here and I won't pick it up, because it's not got a tiny little magnet one side of it to pick up in relation to some metals either side of it. So I kind of had to give up, basically. I even tried taking the little stylus needle out and replacing that with a bit of wire. And that was the thing that made me think, well, why isn't this working? So in the end, I just said, well, I just got to make do. And that's why I came up with the rough solution, which gets me some recorded material in, kind of in the style of John Cage's Cartridge music. So yeah, I'll demonstrate what I did here, more or less. So here's this is what I want to try and pick up the sound of. It's a bit of plastic, you know, packaging material, whatever. So what I did was your poor man's Cartridge music solution. I found these little hair bands like that, and I just put the thing that I want to amplify through it, and then, and excuse the noise while this gets attached, but I actually did, for my recordings, I recorded myself trying to set the whole thing up and attach it, because I found that all those little noises you get while you're trying to get something in place themselves were probably sometimes the more interesting thing than when I got things working. Oh, you see that? You got that? Right, that's not quite on. It's fiddly. Hang on. Well, it's gone dark. My computer screen's gone off. That was providing a bit of useful lighting. Come back. Right. Try again. Oh, come on. There you go. Fiddly fun. Move this out of the way. Interestingly, here I got a bit of dental floss, which I was using, which I found helped my case. So anyway, quick demonstration of what this sounds like. Obviously I was outputting this and recording it into the digital device because I figured I didn't need to get the degraded sound of tape this time round, because I've already got the degraded sound of picking the thing up through a record stylus and amplifying it through an old turntable and a not very good mixer. In the end, I've got a lot of white background noise on the recording, which I didn't want, but I'm thinking, needs must, get something done, don't worry too much about the sound quality. Just see what you can fix, because you could spend forever, or I could certainly spend forever, trying to find different bits of equipment, making it rather expensive when it's supposed to be a budget way of getting sounds, and never actually getting any recording done because I want to perfect it too much. So I'm going for the rough and ready kind of approach, right? So anyway, I'll put a little hairband. I'd probably use two, but you know, it's going to take me a while to set up. And just got this thing in place, and then I'll try and see if we can do anything with it. Yeah, maybe a bit. Let's turn that up. Oh, you can hear the bit of white noise coming in. I'll try and amplify this just so that it comes out onto the video. So, oh yeah, it's quite loud actually, isn't it? I'll turn it down a bit. It's definitely, oh well, it sounds loud here, but who knows what it sounds like. So, so anyway, there you have it. That's what it sounds like. In this case, with this object. Obviously, you can replace this bit of crinkly stuff with some other crinkly or other types of sounding stuff. One thing to mention is, if you at all value your stylus, I probably wouldn't be doing this. This is a crap record player with an old stylus in it, and I've done all sorts of things where I've been trying to mess around with stuff like this, and obviously I don't care about it, so that's a good thing in that sense. Yeah, another kind of example of quickly of an object that you might use. What's this? This some kind of plumbing fixture, fitment. I don't know. So I mean, in this case, I can't put this into the stylus itself. I'd have to just somehow prop the stylus together with it, you know. If I find something I can put underneath it. Oops. Right, hang on a second. This is where I destroy everything. Ah, yeah. Okay. May not be the best example, but you know, let me get something. So, bit of metal. You can hear as it moves around, and this is where this approach isn't as good as the John Cage Cartridge music, with the moving iron old pickups. Problem is, if this moves about, then the needle dances up and down, and it causes sounds like a record scratch. Sometimes I think they're quite good and interesting. Anyway, it's just this. Yeah. That's. And that's happening where we're getting that interference when the thing moves about, but Well, with that, you won't be able to tell. It's hard to tell, I think, to what degree you're hearing that amplified, and to what degree you're hearing it through the just you know, the live thing through the phone mic. Anyway, so that's what I've been doing a bit of lately, and why not? And I've been putting various materials next to this stylus in one way or another and recording them to my digital recorder. And the outcome of that will be perhaps related to this Foley thing, but I'm going to keep that separate, I think. I'm going to try also, ambitious I know, but you can have different things running at the same time. I'm going to try and create a bit of music using sounds that I've recorded in this technique. So, yep, wish me luck. That's the end of the video.